Have you ever wondered why some people remain calm and composed no matter what chaos erupts around them, while others get swept away by every emotional storm? These individuals stand like unmovable mountains. The ancient Stoics discovered the secret to this inner stability over 2,000 years ago, and today we're going to unlock their timeless wisdom. In our modern world, we're constantly bombarded by external forces trying to knock us off balance. Social media drama, work stress, relationship conflicts, financial worries. It feels like we're living in a perpetual hurricane of chaos. Most of us react to these external events like leaves in the wind, being blown in every direction by circumstances beyond our control. We've been taught to believe that our happiness depends on what happens to us. Good news makes us happy. Bad news makes us miserable. Success lifts us up. Failure brings us down. But this approach to life leaves us powerless, constantly at the mercy of forces we cannot control. The Stoic philosophers, including masters like Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius, and Seneca, faced the same human challenges we do today: wars, plagues, political upheaval, personal losses. Yet they discovered something profound. True stability doesn't come from controlling external events. It comes from controlling our internal responses to those events. Epictetus, who went from slave to one of history's greatest teachers, understood this better than anyone. He taught that the essence of good is a certain kind of reasoned choice, just as the essence of evil is another kind. In other words, good and evil don't exist in external events themselves, but in how we choose to interpret and respond to them. Here's the life-changing insight that separates the Stoics from every other philosophy. External events are just raw material. They have no inherent power to make you happy or miserable, calm or anxious, successful or defeated. That power lies entirely in your judgment about those events. Think about it this way. The same rainstorm that ruins one person's picnic brings joy to a farmer whose crops need water. The same promotion that excites one employee might stress another who fears the added responsibility. The event itself is neutral. Our interpretation creates the meaning. The Stoics called this principle eustatheia, a Greek word meaning steadiness or stability. But this isn't the steadiness of a rigid tree that breaks in strong winds. It's the steadiness of a flexible reed that bends but never breaks, always returning to its natural position. So how do we develop this Stoic steadiness in practical terms? It's not about eliminating outside influences or running away to live in isolation. Instead, it's about filtering the outside world through what Epictetus called the straightener of our judgment. Every time something happens to you, whether it seems good or bad, pause and ask yourself, what story am I telling myself about this event? Is this interpretation helping me respond wisely, or is it making me reactive and emotional? Remember, if your judgments about events are clear and rational, then everything that follows will be clear and rational too. But if your judgments are twisted by fear, anger, or false assumptions, then your entire response becomes distorted and you lose your ability to stay steady in the chaos of life. This isn't just philosophical theory. It's a daily practice that transforms how you experience life. When you get stuck in traffic, instead of letting frustration consume you, recognize that traffic is just cars moving slowly. Your anger doesn't make the cars move faster. It only makes you suffer unnecessarily. When someone criticizes you, instead of immediately defending or attacking, pause to consider, is there truth in this feedback that can help me grow? Or is this more about their emotional state than my actual performance? When you face a setback or disappointment, instead of spiraling into despair, ask, what can this situation teach me? How can I use this experience to become stronger and wiser? The Stoics promise something remarkable. If you want clarity and proper judgment, steadiness is the best way to achieve it. When you stop being blown around by every external wind, when you anchor yourself in rational, thoughtful responses rather than emotional reactions, life becomes far more manageable and meaningful. You begin to realize that you have far more control over your experience than you ever imagined. Not control over what happens to you, but complete control over what you make it mean and how you choose to respond. This ancient wisdom isn't just for philosophers in ivory towers. It's for anyone who wants to navigate the inevitable storms of life with grace, wisdom, and unshakable inner peace. I share timeless wisdom like this every week. Subscribe for more.